Good morning, children. We are starting today quadrilateral. Already we have completed two difficult chapters, lines and angles and triangles, some important questions from the previous year question papers. Now we are going to start with the chapter 8, quadrilateral. ABCD is a rhombus. PQRS are the midpoints of AB, BC, CD and DA respectively. Prove that quadrilateral PQRS is a rectangle. In this case, question is diagram is not given. We can draw the diagram while reading the question itself. So first we have to draw rhombus and take the midpoints of each side. So the diagram will be like this only. So what are the steps for this? ABCD is a rhombus. Already the midpoint of AB is P and BC, Q, CD, R and ADS. We have joined here. The four side close to figure, so it's a quadrilateral only. So PQR is a quadrilateral. What we have to prove? We have to prove that PQRS is a rectangle. So what is given here? ABCD is a rhombus. Rhombus is a special type of parallelogram only. So we'll write here given ABCD is a rhombus. Rhombus means all the four sides are equal. And PQRS is the quadrilateral formed by the midpoints of AB, BC and CD, DA respectively. So we'll just write PQRS is a quadrilateral. To prove PQRS is a rectangle, now proof So first we have to prove that PQRS is a parallelogram. So PQ or SR are the two opposite sides and we have to take that PQ is the midpoint, so the respective sides AB and BC only. So by midpoint theorem what we can write means PQ parallel to AC and PQ equal to half of AC. So here construction we should write, actually I missed that one. So construction join the diagonals, we can write so join AC and PD. Proof. The already explained that PQRS is a parallelogram. We have to use this. So PQ is the midpoint of the AB and BC only. The line segment joined by the midpoints of AB and BC. Similarly, SR also the midpoints of the side AD and DC we have taken. Now what is the next step? By midpoint theorem, PQ parallel to AC and PQ equal to half AC. Similarly, SR parallel to AC, SR equal to half AC. So this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Using 1 and 2, what is the conclusion we can make? PQ parallel to SR, because both are parallel to AC only. So we can write that PQ parallel to SR now. PQ equal to SR. What is the reason? Both are equal to half of AC only. Now in a quadrilateral, one pair of opposite side is equal and a parallel. So what we can say that the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. By this PQ parallel to SR, PQ equal to SR, one pair of opposite sides are equal and a parallel. So here it is equal and here it is parallel. Now one pair we got that it is satisfying two properties here. So what we can say? Quadrilateral PQRS is a parallelogram. Now we got PQRS is a parallelogram. Now what is the next step? We have to prove that PQRS is a rectangle. For that, PQRS is a parallelogram we got. Now for we have to prove that it is a rectangle, we need to take 2 points here. One is M and here one is A. Now the diagonal bisect each other at O only. So we are taking which part? S, N, O, M. The smaller part of PQRS we are taking S, N, O, M only. Now what we are telling that PQ parallel to AC, SR parallel to AC only. If SR parallel to AC, then we can write SN parallel to MO. We can write SR parallel to AC. SR parallel to AC implies SN parallel to MO. Similarly, SP parallel to BD. Same rule, the midpoint theorem only. If it is SP parallel to BD, what we can write for SM? SM parallel to NO, because MO is a part of AC. Similarly, NO is a part of BD. Now two pair of opposite sides are parallel, SM parallel to NO and SN parallel to MO. That means what we can say that? We can say that two pair of opposite sides are parallel. This implies SNOM is a parallelogram. Equation number 4. Now one more concept we have to use here. What is that concept? Diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other perpendicularly. What is the concept? Diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other perpendicularly. This means, or this implies, we can write angle O equal to 90 degree. So angle NOA, that is angle NOA equal to 90 degree. Again, we have proved here SNOM is a parallelogram. Then parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. See the diagram once again. SNOM is a parallelogram. If it is 90 degree, then S also 90 degree. Which property? Opposite angles of the parallelogram are equal. So here we have written that angle NOA equal to 90 degree. That means from the diagram we can write that angle MSN equal to 90 degree or angle S equal to 90 degree. Here what is the reason? We can write opposite angles of a parallelogram. Now what we got? PQRS is a parallelogram in which one angle is 90 degree. So if one angle is 90 degree, then what is the concept we can? If one angle is 90 degree in a parallelogram, it is a rectangle. So I'll write here PQRS. Therefore, PQRS is a parallelogram in which one angle is 90 degree. That is angle S. Therefore, PQRS is a rectangle. Hence proved. Next question. L, M and N are the parallel lines intersected by a transversal P and Q such that L, M, N are making cutoff equal intercepts AB and BC on P. Show that L, M and N cut off equal intercepts D, E and F on Q also. It's already given that L, M, N are three parallel lines and making equal intercepts on AB and BC. That means AB and BC are equal in length, or we can say that B is the midpoint of AC. Means they are cutting equal length. Now what is given? L parallel to M parallel to N, and also AB equal to BC. This is cut by two transversal. Which are the two transversal? P and Q. Now what we have to show that L and M and N cut off equal intercepts on DE and EF also. That means we have to prove that DE equal to EF, right? We have to prove that DE equal to EF. Already they had given that AB and BC are equal. Now we should prove that DE and EF are also equal. The question is very clear to you. L, M and N are three parallel lines cut by two transversal P and Q, and they are making equal intercepts on the AC. Now we have to show that they have to make equal intercepts on DF also. So what is given in the question? L parallel to M parallel to N. AB equal to BC. To prove DE equal to EF. Construction: join AF which meet BE at let us take it as a G. Now proof. See, all three lines are parallel only, and here we got a B is a midpoint. So we can get a triangle in the diagram ACF. In triangle ACF, B is the midpoint of AC, BG parallel to CF. Then by converse midpoint theorem, what we can make the conclusion? G is the midpoint. So I'll write here, in triangle ACF, B is the midpoint of AC, BG parallel to CF. This shows that by this what we can make the conclusion? Therefore, G is the midpoint of AF. What is the reason? Converse midpoint theorem. That is AG equal to GF. AG equal to GF, equation number 1. Now G is the midpoint of AF and GE parallel to AD. So the triangle name changes, same rule follows. So which is the triangle name AFD. So in triangle AFD, G is the midpoint of AF, GE parallel to AD. Then what we can write? E is the midpoint of DF, or D equal to EF. So here also same reason only. What is the reason for this statement? Converse midpoint theorem. If you want, we can make the equation number 2. So we got the answer, hence proved. So when we are writing the converse midpoint theorem, what is the main points you have to remember? Which triangle you are going to use and what are the criteria? Like this only, which is the midpoint, which is the parallel line, then the third side it bisects, right? So like that you should write it separately. Then you can use converse midpoint theorem. So we got the answer DE equal to EF. That is the equal intercepts they are making on the other side of the line also. So here we have proved the theorem. In the given figure, ABCD is a parallelogram and E is the midpoint of AD. A line through D draw parallel to EB meets AB produced at F and BC at L. Prove that AF equal to 2DC and DF equal to 2DL. So what is given in the question? ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay. Next, E is the midpoint of AD. That means here these two sides are equal. That is AE equal to ED. A line through D parallel to EB. That means these two are parallel. Third parallel concept here. Parallel to EB produced meets AB produced at F and BC at L. Okay, here they have marked. Now we have to prove that AF, that means it is equal to 2 times of CD, or we should get AF equal to 2 times of AB, or we have to prove that B is the midpoint. Okay. Next, DF equal to 2 times of DL. Where it is DF? DF is here. It is 2 times of DL. So L is the midpoint. Like that we have to prove. So what is given in the question? ABCD is a parallelogram. E is the midpoint. So AE equal to DE. To prove AF equal to 2DC, and number 2 DF equal to 2DL. Right. Now when we are considering these two triangles, what we can see? Angle L equal to angle L. Next, angle C equal to angle B. Because it's a parallelogram, they are alternate interior angles. Now we got two angles. Third angle concept is not there, so we need one more side. We should get that CL and BL are equal, right? So what we should do means, here they are given that this is a midpoint of this side and EB parallel to D only. DL means it is DF also, it's parallel only. So when we are taking the triangle ADF, what we can say that, so here it is EB parallel to DL, or DF we can take, or AB and CD are parallel. So we cannot go for the converse midpoint theorem here. We have to go parallelogram property only. Let us see that one. So proof EB parallel to DL. Again AD parallel to BC. We know that opposite sides of the parallelogram. So what we can write here? ED is a part of it. ED parallel to BL. Now just check this. EB parallel to DL. Means it is question already given this part. ED parallel to BL. That is opposite sides of the parallelogram are parallel. So that is why ED is also parallel to BL. So what we can say about EBLD? EBLD is a parallelogram. Two pair of opposite sides are equal, right? Now if it is a parallelogram, then we can say that ED and BL are equal. E is the midpoint. It is half of AB only. AD is equal to, half of AD. AD and BC are equal only. So I'll write here equation number 1 because of the parallelogram property. Now we already know that AD equal to BC. That means half of AD equal to half of BC. Which half of AD we got? ED. Next, half of BC means what we can write? BL I should take. Now ED and BL are equal, right? This is, we already got it since it's a parallelogram only. Now what is the concept? Means AD and BC are equal. ED equal to BL we can write. In the same way, so ED means half of AD is gone. Now we need half of BC. BL also we can write, or we can write that LC also, right? So BL and LC are equal, or CL we can say. So half of BC means it is half of AD. So here it is already showed that it is half of AD means BL. So the remaining is also half of BC only. So that is why ED equal to LC, we got equation number 1. Sorry, equation number 2 only. Now triangles we have to consider DCL and a triangle BLF. Angle L equal to, let me write 1 and 2 so the confusion will not be there. Angle 1 equal to angle 2, because DCL I have written first, so vertically opposite angle. Next, angle C, let me mark as a 3 and this as a 4. So angle 3 equal to angle 4, that is alternate interior angle. Now using 2, what we got? ED equal to LC, proved in 2. Therefore, triangle DLC is congruent to triangle FL. It is ASA criteria. Now CD equal to BF, CPCT. DL equal to FL, another CPCT. Equation number 3, equation number 4. Now what we have to prove here? We have to prove that AF equal to 2DC. AF equal to AB plus BF. So AB plus BF equal to CD only. So AB plus AB, or we can say that AB is equal to CD. So CD plus CD equal to 2 times of CD. The first one proved. What is the next? DF. From the figure, DF equal to DL plus LF. By CPCT, DL and LF are equal. So DL plus DL, it is equal to 2DL. Let's prove the second part. Here 1 and here 2. With this, today's video I am winding up. Thank you.